any reports come out of this just yet? Meteorologist Ryan Morris has an update.
Yeah, we just got a report of a funnel cloud with this storm system.
So seeing a funnel cloud with it, so that we know the rotation is there. We see it on radar, getting reports of a funnel cloud with it as well. As we look at the tornado warning and where it is, right, it actually includes a larger area, the actual warned for area. But right now, Sharpsville, Tipton, lowest level of your home, safe place. Quite a bit of hail associated with this rotation here as we watch it. Funnel cloud has been reported. That is something that we didn't have earlier when we were tracking rotating thunderstorms, right? But we have that. So you should be just listening to my voice here. If you know someone that's traveling in this location here, let them know what's ahead. If they're traveling up 31 and they're further south, they're headed north, warn them about what's happening ahead of them so they can pull over, turn around, and not get in the mix of this, as this is a slow-moving system, as I'm expecting it to stay with us for quite a while because it's only moving. Is this one moving at 40 miles per hour as well?
Yeah, this one's also moving pretty slow. Moving east at 35 miles.
35, so it's slowed down quite a bit. So heavy rain, which means that this system will be rain wrapped with it. Rotation is there with us. As we look, there's some hail with it as well. As we look around Sharpsville there, that's the area of concern here. As we kind of expand out a little bit, the thunderstorm warning was issued first because of the wind that's gusty within the thunderstorm and because of the hail within it as well. This one out until 6:30, this thunderstorm warning. But now what takes over here is this, which is the tornado warning. Now, we're going to look ahead. Let's plan ahead. Let's get the tracker on here so we can track it moving off to the east at 35 miles per hour, which is incredibly slow. As we put the tracker on, moving kind of in the east, northeast direction here, what we get, the areas of concern or the counties that we're concerned about, describe kind of a wider view of it.
It looks like it's pretty small. That's the reason that usually happens here. Let's see if we can get more
just describe a wider area and then we'll take it out. So it's a very small area of rotation, was Ryan saying. So we're trying to grab that area of rotation. Looks like Fairmount 625 is what we're talking about here, with the possibility of a rotating thunderstorm coming your way. You're not in a thunderstorm warning, but I would say anyone that's from Marion to the south to around Muncie, as we track this system moving to the north, you're going to feel the impacts of it. You are under a tornado watch. So this shouldn't be a surprise to anyone at this moment that we're now under a warning because we've been tracking strong storms with the possibility of rotation. Now, if you're in Tipton County, you're listening to my voice, I'll let you know when it's safe to come out. I would say any area in the warned for area, not safe to come out just yet. I would say if you're back here around Frankfort, I know you got in on some strong storms earlier, it's safe for you to do whatever you need to do because the strongest thunderstorms have now moved out for you. It's sitting just north of Tipton right now, just south of Kokomo is where we see the area of rotation, that tornado warning that's out with us until 6:30 here tonight. Expanding out just a little bit more, Ryan, getting a wider view of this system. It's actually moving slower than the system that's sitting to the south of it that's set to move into Marion County. But we're starting to see rain move into the 465 loop. So scattered showers now moving into the 465 loop. I am expecting a thunderstorm warning that will include Marion County here very soon. The warning sitting to the south of us in Hendricks County, over to the south and west of us in Hendricks County is set to expire here very soon. And at 6:15 to be exact, and probably before that, we'll see a thunderstorm warning continue for Marion County. Has there been any rotation, Ryan, with the Hendricks County storm?
Still pretty broad. And if we're actually looking at this storm system, we'll zoom in and try to turn back velocity. It's still very much broad, and watching hail, it looks like we are getting some spotters that are making their, or at least going to make a closer run at this tornado warned storm in Tipton County. Also, I just want to mention, we got some new notes with this from the National Weather Service. They expect if any tornado may form, it would be heavily rain wrapped, which is something, Ashley, you were just mentioning, and we already have a funnel cloud report with it.
All right, so funnel cloud, so we know that the rotation is there. We're going to take this seriously here tonight. I'll always say that if you're not in the area of concern right now, if you're not in Tipton County and you're watching us, just give us patience while we kind of go through this and try to help your neighbors out. Pray for your neighbors as you deal with the possibility of a tornado on the ground here. It is radar indicated at the moment, but this is something that we're heavily monitoring because of the report of the funnel cloud as well. So you got radar indicated and you have a funnel cloud and you have heavy rain, which means that you heard Ryan say the word rain wrapped. If it's rain wrapped, it's impossible to see. The rain is so heavy that you can't see the rotation coming your way. This is why you should be in in that safe place. The severe weather safety plan that you have with your family, that you talked about with your kiddos, and that your kiddos talked about in school, put that plan in action now if you're in Tipton County, because the rotation is broad, and with broader rotation, we want to make sure that the tightening of rotation, when it starts to happen, that you're not in the area of concern. Tipton County is what we're watching right now, but I am expecting very soon a thunderstorm warning from Marion County, and we'll jump to that once we get it. Tipton County also under a thunderstorm warning because of the large hail that was within the system ahead of that. Expanding out just a little bit more, and there you go, Ryan, thank you, with the hail tracker on there, looking at the hail path. That's some large hail. What was the report of hail size in Tipton County?
Yeah, with this storm system, so quarter size hail is 1 inch. We have this warning out for 1.25 inch size hail, and that is associated with sort of the northern side of this, which is just north of the rotation. So that's what we're eyeing with this storm system.
So ping pong ball size hail.
Just under it.
Just under that, sitting there. All right, so this system is moving east, but kind of in a east-northeast direction here as it travels off to the east. We haven't had any more reports coming out of this system, but this is a long tornado warning. It's a while to be under the tornado warning, right? And it's a while to have heavy rain and lightning. If we put on that lightning tracker, lightning has been a main feature with these storms, right? Lightning isn't a severe component, but it is a main component of these storms, right? It's dangerous within itself. Ryan has that lightning tracker on. You can see kind of just the white little areas there that's signifying the lightning within these thunderstorms as well. So if you're in Sharpsville right now, if you're in Greentown right now, you're dealing with heavy rain falling. Tipton County, most of it dealing with the possibility of rotation here tonight as we deal with lightning, thunder, heavy rain causing flooding and ponding on the roadways, and rotating thunderstorms with large hail and damaging wind that are associated with just the thunderstorm and without the thunderstorm, seeing those strong winds as well. This system, it is moving slowly, but what I'm starting to see here, Ryan, if you can go back and maybe do like a 1 hour or so loop of it, what we're starting to see here is the hail feature isn't as prominent as it once was. So we kind of go back to that, and Ryan is taking you through Frankfort with it. You can see quite a bit of purple, right? Mm-hmm. And then we start to lose a lot of that. Hail is not as large as it once was, and not seeing the coverage of hail that we were once seeing within the storm system. All right, so let's go back to that Hendricks County. Just make sure that we're not missing a new thunderstorm warning there. Hendricks County still under this warning until 6:15. It is now 5:55, another 20 minutes, but I expect that within this thunderstorm warning that Marion County will be included next. So we're watching for this as we'll deal with some heavy rain, quite a bit of lightning, hearing rumbles of thunder. And this is Marion County 465 loop at the time of rush hour. So this is a concern. You know, it's going to slow you down this evening. If you have someone that's coming home that normally gets home at around 6:30, that's not going to be the case tonight. It's going to take people a little bit longer to get home because of the heavy rain falling, lowering visibility, just kind of slowing things down on the roadways here tonight. This one, not a lot of rotation with this one just yet. It is not warned for as far as a tornado warning, but we do have the thunderstorm warning with it, as it once held quarter-size hail and 60 mile per hour winds. You need winds at least at 58 to get a thunderstorm warning. So we're warned for hail and for wind, not for rotation. The rotation sits in Tipton County still at this hour. If you're in Tipton County, you should still be in the lowest level of your home at this time. We have not expired that tornado warning just yet, but it looks like we may have seen a small change to that warning. Yeah,
it looks like they just cut back on it a touch. Looks like they just took western Tipton County out of it.
Okay.
So still in place, though, same timetable, and it looks like moving the same speed and direction. Hail at 1 inch now. So Ashley, you were mentioning the hail core didn't look as impressive. And as it continues to march to the east at roughly 35 miles an hour, that hail core is starting to drop off, but still the same movement and direction.
All right, that means western Tipton County. It is safe for you to come out, not for the entire Tipton County, but just western portions of Tipton County. We're talking about areas that are west of 31. It is safe for you to come out of your safe place. If you've been listening to my voice, thank you for being in that safe place. If you're in eastern portions of Tipton County, we're talking east of 31, still be in the safe place, lowest level of your home, most interior space away from windows and doors as we track this tornado warning that is still out for this area here. here. Heavy rain sitting just in northern portions of Tipton County there. Now starting to see that heavy rain really move into Greentown. You were dealing with some steadier showers at first, and now that rain has come in pretty heavy as we track the tornado warning sitting just south of you. Greentown, you're not under a tornado warning, but you will get the impacts of gusty winds and heavy rain. Not much in the way of hail just yet, but definitely experiencing quite a bit of lightning with this system. If we look east of this, you can see that there's some rain with it, but not much in the way of thunderstorms. As far as the areas of concern, Ryan, I've noticed over the last hour, we really start to narrow that down to two areas of concern. One north of 70 and one sitting right along 70, right? So we have the Hendricks County storm, and we have the storm that is sitting to the north near Kokomo, the Tipton County storm. So Hendricks and Tipton County are the areas of concern right now, kind of broken into two. And it looks like this will be our night. It looks like we actually did add areas east of 69 to the tornado watch now. So tornado watch for now Richmond into Connorsville there, you are now included. And that watch out until 1 a.m. it looks like. So we're going to extend that watch for those locations. But that 1 a.m., yes, 1 a.m. for Wayne County tornado watch. So you were not in the watch earlier when we started this newscast, but you now are in the watch as we watch this broken line of storms head your way, bringing the possibility of rotating thunderstorms, of course, large hail, damaging wind. We have it all, and I think we'll be with you quite a bit tonight, just kind of tracking the same cluster of storms. The good news is as we get closer to sunset, I believe most of this action will sit off to the east. There's more behind this system, but it is in more isolated than what we see here. Speaking of that, Ryan, what does it look like right now in the western portion of the state?
Yeah, I was just going to touch on that, but I want to give a quick update to this severe thunderstorm warning. We do have reports coming in. So winds gusting now on the southwest side, close to Plainfield, near 50 miles an hour as torrential rain's moving in. And that's not a shock looking at radar right now. We did have a report, looks like from the Weather Service at 5:54, so about 5 minutes ago, of a decent-looking wall cloud, which is what we always look for here when we're watching for severe weather and potential for tornadoes, but no low-level rotation. So this downpour is just getting into the southwest side, but gusting to 50 miles an hour. Also, no word on any of these cells in western Indiana. Close to Terre Haute, so we'll see if these cells start to go up. I do want to point out another downpour, looks like just popped up pretty close to Martinsville. So we still may see some of these other cells get going. But right now, the two main areas of focus, still the one near Plainfield, and then obviously the one in Tipton that is capable of producing a tornado.
All right, and the warned for area, the tornado warning, I want to keep my eye on that because we have people in Tipton County that are east of 30 that they are actually in their safe place right now. So we zoom into that just a little bit as we watch, of course, people sitting east of 31, that they should be still be in their safe place if you're in Tipton County and east of 31. So Sharpsville areas off to the east, just up to Greentown. Greentown not included in the tornado warning, but definitely included in the heavy rain, and most likely seeing the lightning, hearing the rumbles of thunder as this system rolls through. And if you're in Greentown right now and you're saying, I'm experiencing all that, it seems pretty scary. Areas south of you dealing with the possibility of rotation here. And the plan that you make all year long, the plan that we talk about when we do the severe weather specials, is what you put into action here. So put that plan into action right now in Tipton County, mainly if you're east of 31, as we track this thunderstorm with the possibility of rotation. All you see here in purple would be the possibility of hail. That hail core was larger at one point, quite a few lightning strikes here. The rain is still very heavy, and that's been a main feature as well with these storms, which just makes it difficult to see any kind of rotation, so you can't see it. I know it's daylight, but it's going to be very dark there in Tipton County as this system continues to roll through. Now, what we continuously kind of watch for here is a couple things. We look for the shear, we look for the velocity, so we're looking at wind and how the wind is wrapping, right? Is it going one direction aloft and another direction at the surface? That's what we see here. This is our velocity here. You can see there is some rotation still in Tipton County. It's just very broad rotation here. So you can see near, looks like that's a windfall there, that we see the possibility of rotation near you. As that travels off to the east, moving at 35 miles per hour, the reason that we're still talking to you at 6:01 is because we still believe that this system could, A, strengthen as in tightening of the rotation, and B, even with its broad rotation, it still could be a tornado on the ground here. So we act as if there's a tornado on the ground. Although this is a radar indicated situation, we still act out the plan. Go to the lowest level of your home, the most interior space, as we look at this rotation that's traveling off to the east. New thunderstorm warning now popping up, Ryan.
Yeah, it looks like we just got the details on this one. And remember, this is on the border of now National Weather Service offices here, so we still may get a warning, a severe thunderstorm warning at the minimum, looks like for northern Madison County. But this one out till 6:30, and looks like still roughly the same movement, and hail potentially up to 1 inch. So this cell is still moving at around east-northeast at about 35 miles an hour. Now, no word if this tornado warning is going to continue yet.
All right, so we're looking to see if there's still rotation. And, Ryan and I were just checking. We know that there's still some broad rotation. But the question becomes, do we continue the tornado warning for the broad rotation? Because we know that is in this environment that it has the possibility of strengthening and tightening that rotation. Or do we issue a thunderstorm warning with a TOR possible, which means that we have a tornado possible within a thunderstorm warning, right? That's the two ways we can go with this. And I think what we'll do is we'll continue thunderstorm warnings. The broad rotation here, we'll find out if we'll just add a portion of areas and continue that into the tornado warning, but not seeing that just now. Waiting for the update, which will come in here probably in the next 10, 15 minutes, because the system is actually starting to exit portions of Tipton County. It's getting to the eastern portions of Tipton County now. So most likely in the next 10 minutes or so, we'll get an update on if this will continue or if it will continue as a thunderstorm warning here as we deal with the heavy rain and not as much rotation. All right, so let's look back down to Hendricks County, see if Marion County is now included in a thunderstorm warning, as we are expecting that at any moment with that system. No, still just Hendricks County at the moment. That went out until 6:15. We're about 11 minutes away from this one expiring here. Starting to see rain here in downtown Indianapolis. Rain coming down steady and heavy. If we can get one of our downtown Indy cams, the Speedway cam, downtown Indy cam, any of that cam, I think you're going to start seeing rain from it. Yep, starting to see rain fall here as we look at our cameras coming down pretty steady and even heavy. Visibility not incredibly low just yet, but the ponding will be the issues. You can see the rain on the camera here as we look at Lucas Oil Stadium here. Rain coming down once again steady and heavy, but look how wet it looks downtown, right? We had rain this morning and quite a bit of rain falling right now. This will be an issue as you travel out. I mean, your evening commute will be slow going because of all of this rain as we now see the system that we've been tracking since 4:30. We've been with you on and off here, but since 4:30 we were tracking this system live that was bringing us tornado warnings then, but now moving into the downtown area, bringing most likely a severe thunderstorm warning. I think that will continue. If not that, definitely heavy rain, lightning, and more in the way of thunderstorms here. Now, thunderstorm warnings have been sitting with us for the last hour and a half or so, right? What we see now is that we're starting to see the cluster of storms that has been the strongest shift off to the east. So we're turning our attention to the next wave of rain that's moving in, and I can tell you right now that as we look at it sitting near Terre Haute, as we look at it in Brazil, it is not as intense as the storms that were ahead of it. That's good news for us for now. But they're still moving into an environment that's still quite warm, that's still quite unstable. Up until an hour ago in downtown Indy, we were still seeing sunshine, which means that our environment was primed for these thunderstorms there. Can we take a look at the temperature trend, Ryan? Most likely we've seen very little change in most locations that are off to the east, but some change probably starting to happen for areas off to the west.
Yeah, you can sort of note it. Let's just take high-res temps. And remember, we were talking about an hour ago, some of these locations pretty close to 80 degrees. High-res temps has us back already in the low to mid-70s.
But if you look at Indy and areas off to the east, still pretty warm, right?
Yeah. And those areas, especially east of Indianapolis, have yet to see, obviously, these cells get close. And you could see upper 70s, close to 80 degrees. So still the primed environment in those locations.
So what that means, what I'm trying to say here is that I think that our focus is going to become here in this area. And we're going to start focusing less here because we're losing the energy. We're also getting closer to sunset. So as these storms move off to the east, we'll see if they're able to maintain or even gain strength enough to be warned for. But that's something we're going to watch for. But as Ryan just showed you, air still warm enough here to become unstable. Air cooling back here, which means that we're starting to see some stability, cloud cover. So that's a good thing. As we look at the warnings that are here, sitting just north of Elwood there, the tornado warning that's out, I'm expecting that to, it says that it's going to expire at 6:30. Is that the one, the 6:30? that tornado warning. But honestly, you can already see that system is starting to exit Tipton County here. So we'll see what happens here in the next 5 minutes or so with this one. Ryan, can we zoom into the area that's warned for as far as the tornado warning? Are we still seeing any rotation in Tipton County here? I can see that it's really close to moving out of Tipton County. I don't think it's going to be in Tipton County until 6:30. So
yeah, it looks like we have actually 2 spotters that are nearby where this tornado warning is issued. And it looks like rotation's pretty broad here and no lowering of the clouds. So that's good to hear. Also, I just want to make a quick note of the metro area, and they're going to allow this severe thunderstorm warning to expire, which includes Hendricks County and Morgan County. They're going to let that expire at 6:15 and not continue for the metro area.
Okay. Not continuing it, which is good news for us, right? So we're getting to a place to where even though they're not continuing the thunderstorm from Marion County, we still concern ourselves with heavy rain, lightning. We were just saying that a few minutes ago. Lightning, heavy rain, and still wind within the system. As we look at these warnings that are out now, they're shifting off to the east. As we look at some of our cameras here, wow, look at this, Ryan. Heavy rain. This is where you get into problems at, right? Because those outer lanes, you're going to start dealing with ponding. It's been quite a bit of rain falling over this area today. Center lanes, moving slower than normal, but still moving pretty good, better than I would expect in this kind of heavy rain that lowers visibility quite a bit as we move. We look at 465 and West 21st Street there. Looking at Lyndhurst Drive there, I-70 and Lyndhurst. Looks like even more rain there. You can see the tires just kind of kicking off all that water from the rain that's falling throughout the day today. Like, Ryan, this is our second round of rain. The first round was pretty intense too, briefly, although it was not warned for. It still was some pretty good rain. Looking live now as we continue to track at the track, Indianapolis Motor Speedway. You can see the sheen on the roads from the heavier rain. You can see the clouds with us. Ryan, I looked at this camera at about 5 o'clock. I can tell you that in this camera was complete sunshine. With a few clouds, sunny. It was very nice looking. It was very warm. Not the case right now. Darkening of the skies as we look live here downtown looking at Lucas Oil Stadium. This is where we're getting into some heavier rain. Ryan just told you that this will not be warned for, but it is heavy rain. It is lightning. It does look like a pretty good thunderstorm there, but it's pretty good, but not severe, which we like at this point as we've been tracking severe weather since 4:30 here tonight. So Hendricks County set to expire at 6:15. That's this one here. That includes Plainfield. Plainfield, you're now out of the rain, which is good news. As we look north, that tornado warning, I would think that that's going to expire very soon as well as the rotation has weakened quite a bit. Although in Tipton County, you should still be in the lowest level of your home here as you still have a warning, but we see it most likely continued as a thunderstorm warning. We see the actual action starting to, and there we go, latest update. You can see that the actual thunderstorm that was there is now moving out of Tipton County. Still warned for, but the actual action, and if we look at velocity, Ryan, is there any kind of rotation still left in Tipton County?
The thing that's also a little bit tricky here is we have some broad rotation, but you have to keep in mind our radar site's pretty far away here. So we're looking about over 3,000 feet up into the storm. So there's still at 3,000 feet some broad rotation. Right now, still no signs that they're going to potentially issue a new tornado warning now that that area rotation's moving out of the warning. But I have to imagine they're going to let this warning expire or cancel pretty quickly, considering it's already out of that warned zone.
Absolutely. I mean, it's set to 6:30, but like I said, you can see the rotation. Not only that, most of the action moving out of the at Tipton County there. It looks like it will not continue. Thunderstorm warning already out for that area, so we know that. Quite a few lightning strikes here, so lightning is an issue with these storms today as you're traveling out. This rain has been heavy. It has been steady. It's been a lot of action here, and we're not done. There's still a cluster of storms sitting off to our west that we have to watch here tonight, and we're going to watch those throughout the night as they move through. I think as we get closer to sunset, which happens around 8:30, as we get closer to sunset, you're going to see a lot of this activity shift off to the east and start to diminish, and you can take a sigh of relief at that point, but then we're right back here tomorrow. We do the same exact thing tomorrow as we track the possibility of isolated tornadoes, same time frame, the possibility of damaging wind and large hail. So we'll do this again tomorrow afternoon, but we're watching some strong thunderstorms here. We can now hear heavy rain here over the station as we're here. We can hear heavy rain on our rooftop here. We can hear a little thunder here at the station starting to happen. So this is now sitting right over us. This heavy rain you can see in the yellow. Once again, not warned for, but some very heavy rain here falling here at the station.
I do want to briefly mention also, although they discontinued the warning, wind gusts up to 40, 50 miles an hour are possible for the metro area along with this heavy rain. Just no warning which is 58 miles an hour or higher, but still pretty strong. Can get some gusts 40 to 50. And you can see on our cameras here, pretty dark, raining pretty hard, and we have a couple lightning strikes as well.
All right, so this one not warned for, but we still are with you because we're still tracking the warned for storm that was north. That is the tornado warning. This is what I'm talking about here. That's in Tipton County. You can see just kind of less than it was, and lots of the action now moving away from 31 and closer to around 37 is where we're starting to see the action move. And it looks like we have not heard anything about the continuation of this tornado warning. It looks like it will be let to expire, and probably early, because we're talking 6:30 here is when it's set to expire. But here we are looking at the clock at this moment at 6:12, and I can tell you most of the action has moved out. Still some rain there. The broad rotation is right on the on the county line there in Tipton, but starting to move out here as we continue that thunderstorm warning. So thunderstorm warning just dropped. I saw that. So the Tipton County thunderstorm warning just dropped. There's a new thunderstorm warning that's north of 69 near Fort Wayne. That one's in Huntington, Indiana, Huntington County. That one's a thunderstorm warning. What is that warning for?
It looks like hail up to 1 inch as well. I also just want to make another, it looks like we just got a cancellation in the tornado warning.
Okay.
But this storm system as a whole, although we haven't seen a lot of tornado warnings here in central Indiana, there's multiple observed tornadoes that went through southern Michigan from this same storm system. But the latest is they just canceled this tornado warning, so there it goes.
And go back to that system in Michigan, because it actually moved through Indiana. It actually moved through Michigan City there before it moved into Michigan in Indiana. Was not confirmed, was not any kind of confirmation when it was in Indiana, but it was a tornado warning in Indiana. And now, as it moved into Michigan, doing quite a bit of damage there as we see confirmed tornadoes. Whenever this box turns purple, that means we've had some confirmation there. Not in Indiana, but Ryan's taken us back to that moment when we had the tornado warning there in Michigan City, which was just a few hours ago that actually started our coverage with that. As we expand out here just a little bit more and kind of get a view of where we are as we see the heavy rain sitting over Indianapolis and Marion County with some heavier rain and now thunderstorm warnings sitting from Marion up 69 and also Indianapolis with heavy rain and with a warning, a thunderstorm warning that is set to expire here in the next 30 seconds. And with all of that information, anytime there's a new thunderstorm warning or a tornado warning, we'll be back with you. But we'll return you now to Phil.